man. Can't ball in a life, man. Go on with it, go on with it. Do us. So we are coming here with a force. Yeah. Blessing the reap and we coursing on.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Shay Renee, and we are back to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 7, Keeping It Cool. And can I tell you something? This ain't keeping it cool. I can't keep it cool no more, okay? I'm tired. We got to get rid of this Marlo stuff. It's ridiculous. It's redundant. It's irrelevant. We don't want to hear about this anymore. We've got to let it go. This is just, it's unbelievable and it's stupid. At this point, I don't want to hear no more about Marlo and this whole situation. Again, at the risk of sounding insensitive about her nephew, I don't care anymore. I'm going to go ahead and lay it out there for y'all and be honest. I don't care anymore. I don't want to hear it anymore. It's fake. My thing is, if I am grieving over my nephew or somebody very important to me and my family, the last thing I'm thinking about is flowers from somebody that I ain't really that cool with. Marlo tried to bring up at the end that they've been friends for over 10 years and this, that, and the third. Y'all really wasn't that close, Marlo. You dated Candy's cousin. Let's be real. You dated Candy's cousin. That was the only reason that y'all had gotten even remotely anywhere closer. Did Nene send you flowers? Did any of the other women on the cast send you flowers? No. No. Did you tell Candy that this nephew of yours was related to you when he first started working at OLG? It seems like you didn't find out until he was already gone from here. So, production, we have had enough. It is enough. We have beat this to the brim. We can't take it no more. I don't even want to talk about it no more. After this episode, this is it. We're done with this, okay? Done. I don't want to hear it no more. Child, let's get through this episode because they about pissed me the heck off, okay? So Drew meets with a man named Rage, okay? He gonna do a music video for Drew. Let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna be honest about the whole Drew. I don't really care about Drew's music video. I don't. Drew, you can sing and all, but you know, she sat down with Rage because Rage did something for her before. And Rage didn't even know that Drew was in Step Up with Channing Tatum. I'm like, child, how you didn't know that? And you coming to do, you got to at least do some research on the people that you're going to be doing work for. But child, you like it, I love it. He said he got to see Ross's body for him to be the leading man in the video, even though that's her damn husband. And she paying for all of this. But he going to pick who the leading man in the video is. But Drew trusts him because she said that he does great work. He asked how is their marriage going. And Rage says he's been married to his wife for over 20 plus years. And he said, if you can make it after 8 years, you're going to make it the duration. Child, I done seen people get divorced at 10 years, 11 years, 12 years. It's all about the two people in the relationship. So we see how that's going to go by the end of the season. Moving on, Sanya and Sheree go to cryotherapy. And Sanya talks about Rihanna mentioning Sheree and saying she loves Sheree. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to something. Sanya tried to say that Rihanna loves She by Sheen, She by Sheree. Rihanna probably know nothing about Sheree's clothing line. She said, and I quote from that quote, "I love Sheree." She didn't say I love She by Sheree. Did she have on a She by Sheree hoodie when she was saying this? No, she didn't. Okay, she said she loves Sheree. Let's be very clear. Rihanna is a Bravo super fan. She loves all of the Housewives shows. So she probably love all the Housewives. Maybe she likes Sheree more than some others. Okay, that's cool. We don't want to steal Sheree's shine. We want to let her feel good because, honey, Riri is on the look for you, okay? But your clothing line is not what she was talking about. Sheree, you don't even wear your clothes all the time on the show. You wear that same little gray and black leopard print looking outfit, and that's it. That's the only outfit I see you while you talking about Kenya's potential botched booty. you and your pointed booty, we don't want to go on nobody's booty, Sheree. Let's just say that. If it's squats, not shots, okay, cool. But it's looking pretty beat up, okay? Moving on, cause y'all ain't none of y'all got no room to be talking about nobody's booty, okay? Candy booty is the Candy booty is the only one that look like it's homegrown, child. Okay, but we gonna keep it pushing. So moving on, Sheree stretching it with the whole Rihanna stuff, but it is what it is. After freezing their tail off in the little machine, they go and lay down on the massage chairs, and Sanya talks about her husband not being around because he's busy with their auto business and how he eventually wants to bring it to Atlanta. And Sheree says, "Well, that ain't good if y'all trying to have a baby. How you gonna be down? How he always down in Texas and y'all trying to have a baby?" Here's my thing: they ain't trying to have no damn baby. Saying you don't want to have no more children. Let's stop lying to yourself, saying this is just your way of proving that y'all shouldn't be having no more children. Okay? You have enough with little Deucey Poo. Go on, deal with what you got to deal with this kid. Your family members about to move out your house, child. You ain't gonna have no help. Ross, you out here doing whatever you doing in Texas. I'm gonna believe that you down there doing the right thing, child. But whatever you doing down there, it ain't about having no daggone baby, okay? And I tell you that. All right. So listen, I don't want to hear no more about no babies with y'all, because if you really wanted to have a baby, Sanya, you fly all over the place. You took your tail down in the car to Birmingham with Kenya and you weren't appreciated. You go all over the country to Jamaica and here, there, and everywhere doing iFit promos. You can ride your tail down during your ovulation periods to Austin, Texas, so that you can get pregnant. So I don't want to hear it. Y'all don't want to have no baby. So you stop talking about that too and find something else. Dig deep into these family problems. That's what you need to be talking about, because this baby is a cover up. And get out of Marlo's business, because you are not Switzerland by any means of the word. Moving on. So then Sanya, they talk about Beat the Bomb and how Sanya was confused as to why Kenya, Drew, and Monietta left. Yeah, you are confused, because you're confused as to how to be a good friend. Why am I going to stay there hanging around with you birds when all of y'all are delusional? Here's the thing. What you all seem to be missing here is when you can treat Candy like this and uphold Marlo and her BS when she's clearly over here lying her tail off about her emotions and how broken up she is about this whole situation, with Candy bringing it up 2 years later, and you all can be delusional about it like that. Why am I hanging out with you bitches? Why? I can think of a million better things to do than to be staying here talking about my girl, my homegirl, that is actually a good friend to me, with you birds that have literally nothing good to say about her, or anybody for that matter. Y'all are all delusional. Like, I feel like all the ladies on this show have this mindset that, oh, we can argue and we can do this and we can do that and we can yell at each other and we can be real extra, but the next minute we supposed to be Wang Chung. We supposed to be great and having a good old time together. We're brothers, we're happy, and we're singing, and we're Lord. That's what we supposed to be looking like after all of it. No, it don't work like that. Because when you piss me off, I'm good on you. Because if you can do all of this that's seemingly for fake, just imagine what you can do to me for real. It seems like y'all are willing to do anything to get this check. So that lets me know when this check is gone, y'all don't have nothing going on. It's sad to me. It really, really is sad. So, hey, whatever. Moving on. So Sheree says, you know what? She feels like the group is really divided and she wants to do something to get everybody Gucci again. So she names this, she going to get everybody together. She's like, she has a good relationship with most people more than some, basically talking about Candy. And I'm like, girl, you know what? I can't wait till y'all talk to each other in this next episode, because this beef between Sheree and Candy is just really silly. So she gonna put this Gucci brunch together, child. Everybody's supposed to come wearing Gucci. and hopefully she can get everybody back together. Ciao. A mess. Okay. So in the next scene, Marlo meets with Courtney to feel sorry for herself some damn more. And she talks about her friends hooking her up on a blind date. Her friend Ty, and I don't know if that lady was his girlfriend, his friend, whoever, but they talked about wanting her to be on a double date with them. And I'm like, this is my first time seeing these people on this show. But Marlo, see, this is what I'm talking about. Marlo needs to bring people around that are really active in her life besides this whole fake situation. Well, I guess it's not so fake anymore with the nephews for right now. But you don't bring people around that are close to you for real. You make up foolish drama with other people that is stupid and doesn't make any sense. But moving on, she tells Courtney about this blind date they sent her up on, child, which, okay, who did you done took some little archive money to pay to come on this show, child, whatever. So she asked Courtney about her dating life, and Courtney says it's complicated. How's it complicated, Courtney? What are you doing? You still trying to be with your baby daddy? Child, you look like you 50. Girl, move on. If he ain't trying to be with you, move on. Get Ty and his girl to find you a date too. Because obviously, you and old homeboy from the movie Twa ain't working out. It ain't working out. And he don't look like he did back then. Okay? He ain't as handsome as he used to be. Mr. Bryce. Okay? He all right. But, no. Girl, move on. You know what? I really don't care, Courtney, because I hope you don't come back next season. Because Courtney gives me fake bubbly. Like, oh, I'm so nice and I'm so quirky, Courtney. And oh, I'm such a cool girl to be around, guys. Look at me and my high-pitched voice. It just makes me feel so inviting. I just see bubbles coming out of her head every time I see her. I'm good on Courtney. Don't want to see Courtney anymore. Courtney and Sanya can take the same packed bag lunch and get off of our TV. Moving on. So Marlo goes back in to talk. Then she thanks Courtney for helping her get her record cleared so that she can have a license to carry. Now, Courtney, that's nice of you, but Marlo goes in and says, see, those other girls never helped me do anything like that. Do these ladies, a part of their repertoire of things that they do, say work at the courthouse or work in law enforcement? No. Why would they be the ones that you're reaching out to help you do some stuff? Now, Candy said in her meeting that we're going to talk about with Sanya that she's more prone to helping people do things than being that sentimental person that's going to be sending you gifts and flowers. Because let me tell you something. Candy is the type of broad, I'm going to make the money, but I ain't about to be real extra on trying to give it out to you mofos. Okay? She very charitable and things like that and giving to people that need it. But wasting my money by buying my friends gifts all the time? Yeah, no. That's how rich people stay rich, sis. Okay? I just feel like Marlo has some type of complex. And again, I've said it again and again and again. It makes me think about Brooke Ashley when she puts those... She is funny. She puts those little clips in her videos. But that's just a side note. Y'all, shout out to the Brooke Ashley. I love her. But again and again and again, you are talking about what somebody need to give you, what somebody needs to do for you. It's too much. Talk about how to pull your own self. You talk about being this foster child, how you had to pull yourself up by the bootstraps all the time, and you had to do this, and you had to be in survival mode. Why are you so butthurt over what somebody else is not doing? It's just sad, and it's just getting redundant and ridiculous at this point. You know, like I said before, Candy is very charitable. She's going to give to people that need the most. And frankly, giving gifts to your friends all the time, child, that ain't no daggone tax write-off. So girl, you supposed to have money. You supposed to be on this show because you're affluent just like everybody else, Marlo. Pay for your own nephew's funeral. Help your family figure it out. That's your family at the end of the day. You are having too many expectations of somebody that obviously wasn't as close to you as you in your head built them up to be. And honestly, I don't even think that Marlo really thought that her and Candy was that daggone close. I think that this is just a part of Marlo's narrative, and this is just another way for her to not talk about her real life, because Marlo's life to me is probably very dark, and she's not willing to really talk about the good, the bad. She wants to talk about some of the good, none of the bad, and none of the ugly, okay? And I'm over it. I'm really over it. So Courtney asks a really good question. She says, well, why are you just now talking about it? When did you bring this up to Candy? And why, what's going on? And Marlo says that she never brought it up. She didn't have a chance to bring it up to Candy because they just never had a chance to talk. Courtney, I'm going to need you to pop those bubbles over top of your head, sis. You should have followed up with her and saying, well, didn't you guys tape together last season? Haven't you guys seen each other, like recording for the show? Like, why didn't you bring it up then? That's what we're talking about. People keep on talking about, oh, Candy is not being sensitive, and Marlo really has a valid point. You mofos, like Scotty said, y'all just don't like Candy, and you're finding any reason to not like Candy. It doesn't make any sense. We have to speak in sense these days, okay? And if Courtney had asked that, I would have loved to watch Marlo squirm and have something to say. Because she has changed the reason why she's mad at Candy so many times. Oh, Candy didn't call my sisters. Oh, Candy didn't send flowers. Oh, Candy should have catered. All this stuff that Candy should have done. Candy is not related to you. That was not Candy's nephew. Candy has lost a lot of people throughout these seasons. Have you done something? Did you send flowers and cater AJ's funeral? Did you do anything? Like I said in my last video, when Riley graduated, what did you do? I don't understand. You're asking for all these things of this woman like y'all are close. I could see if it was Nene. You are not close like you and Nene portrayed yourselves to be in previous seasons. So I don't understand. Y'all, I'm over it. I don't want to talk about it no more. But I want people to be realistic around Marlo. Ask the real questions. Because at the end of the day, y'all have heard and seen all 10 variations of this story, and they don't all align. So you have to put your thinking cap on and stop letting her cap in front of you, period. Moving on. They talk about the Gucci brunch and if Courtney was invited. Courtney says she's going to go. And yeah, moving on, girl. Sanya meets with Candy at OLG, okay? Now, Candy, of course, she gonna get some food, child. Because, let me tell you something. Y'all can talk about the generators at OLG, which, Todd, you need to get them damn generators. I'm just telling you, get the generators. Because I done been to OLG 3 times now. Get the generators, okay? But the food is good. The food slaps at OLG. You cannot take that away from them, okay? They may have their drama. And this is just a side note. Bravo, you need to bring back Candy in the gang. Because that was just one season. You have to let the characters progress. At least give us 2 seasons so we can follow up with what happened before. But that's just a side note. You gave Vanderpump Rules all this shine, and that show has been trashed for the last 3 years. It just got good this year. So you can give Candy and the gang another ride, okay? But moving on. They get the salmon bites and the chicken wings, which are absolutely amazing. That strawberry lemonade, amazing, okay? So yeah, y'all had a good little meal with this trash conversation. So Candy talks about going and doing the red carpet for the piano lesson and then having to come back and do ghetto stuff with them, which is arguing at daggone beat the bomb, okay? So Sanya, here she go, capping again for Marlo, saying, I just think that the information was delivered back to you incorrectly, saying you don't know how the information was delivered to her. And here's the thing, it doesn't freaking matter. You have heard the story from Marlo several times, okay? Put yourself in Candy's shoes. Y'all sit up there and Why does the story always move to Candy being the bad guy? If you want to so called be Switzerland, you need to see both sides of the story. I never see you defending Candy to Marlo. It's always trying to get Candy to see Marlo's point. But then you want to complain that Monyetta, Kenya, and Drew are standing 10 toes down and up Candy's butt. But you are up Marlo's butt and Sheree's. None of y'all have your own personal stance. To have your own personal stance as a real friend is to set your friends straight when they're wrong. And Candy is basically like, listen, and I've seen all over Twitter where people are like, oh, Candy wants Sanya to pick a side. No, she doesn't. Candy wants her to stand 10 toes down in the BS that she's trying to sell her. Okay, girl, if you're trying to sell me that you're Switzerland, be Switzerland. Tell your girl that she's wrong. Period. I'm not asking you to protect me and be on my side all the time, but you know that this is clearly some BS. And even Sanya says, you know, I'm not trying to get caught in Marlo's fade. So you're telling Candy this, right? But you're not saying this to Marlo. Obviously, you think that some of the stuff that Marlo is saying is a load of crap. But why can't you say that to your friend? It's because y'all not really friends. And real friends can be honest with each other. And saying you're just not being honest, maybe you do have a closer relationship with Candy because you feel so fancy free to tell her that she's wrong. And you can say whatever you want to her. But you can't seem to do that with Marlo. So is that a real friendship? You know, those types of friends that you can only say, you can only be around them when you are saying what they want to hear. Those are trash friendships. And you better keep your left eye open and your right eye peering in too. Because it ain't right. It ain't right. So Candy is just like, girl, I'm looking at you with a side eye. Because this stuff that you're doing right here, this ain't it. And you know what? I ain't really messing with you. I ain't fooling with you or your homegirls at this point. Because all of y'all are really full of shish. And I'm glad that Candy was honest with her and said that. So moving on. Drew is at her video practicing, and her and Ralph have a little moment. Ralph gets his part back in the video. First he ain't make the cut. They had somebody else. Now he back in the cut, child. Okay, moving on. Kenya goes to talk to her doctor about the possibility of having more children because she wants Brooklyn to have a playmate, okay? Now, this scene right here, it really made me feel a way because I'm 37. I'll be 38 on July 20th. And I, too, am also thinking about the possibilities of what comes with having another child, if it makes sense, not being selfish. You know, you got to look at your age and different things like that, what your body goes through having these babies, and really not even just the plight to getting them here. It's taking care of them afterwards. And then me, in my personal opinion, I will say this. Let's get through the scene first. Kenya talks to her doctor. Her doctor basically is giving her all of the layout of the land of what could possibly go wrong with this. Because apparently when Kenya was having Brooklyn, given the fact that Kenya is already up in age, you know, it was a very trying pregnancy. Kenya also almost didn't make it through that pregnancy. She lost a lot of blood apparently. And so Kenya is thinking about, she has a lot of embryos left, which is a blessing. But she also wants to fertilize them with her current almost not about to be husband. And she's like, I don't know anybody that would choose. Yes, we're not in the best of situations, but I don't know anybody that would choose to want to have their children with multiple people. And I get that. But at the same time, you're already going through enough of a toxic situation with this man. Why would you want to have more children with him? Also, Kenya, let's be real. And I'm going to be very honest and true with you all with my feelings. Everybody got to get this Janet Jackson had a baby at 50 stuff out of their head. You know, yes, people with money can do miraculous things, okay? However, putting your body through something like that, is that really what you need to be doing? Is it really? You know, I think as women, we have to be honest with ourselves, okay? 50 plus having a baby, you got to think about this. You're 50 now. When your child is 20 years old, I think Kenya is 53. Her child will be, when she's 73, her child will be 20 years old. Like, you got to think about what you're putting your kids through. You know, as we get older, now you're putting your kid through having to be there for you and take care of you at a very young age, at a time where they should be living their best life. Like, a kid isn't, your brain isn't even fully developed until you're 21. So now they're going to be forced into caregiver roles very early in life. And I just don't think, I think that people should think about that when they decide to have children at a very old, when you're older, honestly. Let's just be real. And again, that's her body, her life, her choice. But for me, as for me in my house, I'm not having kids at a late age, in my late 40s and 50s and stuff like that, because honestly, to me, I just think it's very selfish. You know, your children, they want to have their parents around. You know, I would at least want to have my parents well into my late 30s and 40s. I don't know if that's going to happen for Brooklyn or this new child, because of Kenya making a choice to have children at such a very late age in life. Now, I don't know what stopped her from having children earlier. Maybe because she really wanted to do it the traditional way, and that's ultimately why she had Brooklyn the way that she did. But now that you've experienced having a kid, yes, I know you want to have a playmate for Brooklyn, but you have to be realistic in your decision making. But maybe you need to have more play dates instead of having um a playmate as far as a sibling. Okay? And that's just keeping it real. But moving on, you know, good luck to you, Kenya. I hope that you ultimately make the best decision that's not just selfish for you, but also think about Brooklyn, and when she grows up, how this is going to affect her and her sibling. You know, and especially, like, you got to think about, Kenya really is, like, really diving into having this baby herself. And I'm like, girl, you know what happened? What's going to happen if you don't make it this time? And now what you going to do? Leave the kids to be raised by Mark? You got to think about that too. Because he's ultimately, that is Brooklyn's father. So who's going to raise Brooklyn if you are not here? You got to think about all of these things. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I hope that she really does, you know, think about that. You know, everybody can't be, everybody ain't Janet Jackson. Okay. Yes, you had a baby late in life, but let's not keep pushing that narrative. But moving on. Sheree is having this brunch. She's putting the name cards on the table, and I'm like, Sheree, you already being shady. Why would you put Marlo and Sanya in the middle next to Candy? You already know that that's an epic fail. So Sanya comes in her all white Gucci suit, okay, and her, you know, whole Gucci getup, okay. I'm just like, child, can they iron leather? Because something was a little wrinkled about Sanya's suit. I don't know, but hey, child, she, you know, she played her part, okay. So all the other ladies come in before Marlo and Kenya, okay, and Sheree says basically that she wanted to get everybody together because it's sad that they can't all talk things out and just move forward. She wants to get back to them having fun together. And I agree, because that's really what we have known and loved about the Real Housewives franchises. We want to watch them go on vacations. That's one thing that we can really appreciate about a show like this versus a Carlos King production, where everything is just 100% drama all the time. We can get a break from some of the drama. It's very balanced, typically on a Real Housewives franchise, where yes, there's some drama, but then you can see the ladies, you get that peer behind the gate, which is what we all are very interested in, seeing that lavish lifestyle, seeing them go on the elaborate vacations and having a good time, and watching them problem solve and get through things. That's just really one of the real elements of this show that we've all known to love and appreciate, which is why we are so attracted to the show overall. Drama is enticing, but it's not retainable. It's not. That doesn't retain the audience 100%. And, you know, I'm hoping that they can get back to this point. So Kenya comes in, and, you know, Marlo eventually arrives. And Kenya said, after Sheree has a seemingly emotional moment, child, Sheree, I ain't see no tear in sight, but okay, girl, you like it, I love it. Kenya says only Jesus can fix this, and she says she got him on speed dial. I'm like, Kenya, you are a mess. So, um, they end up before Marlo walks in changing the name cards because Candy is like, okay, what you're not about to do is have me sitting over here next to this chick. So you need to move her on across the table because what we not about to do is that. Okay. So moving on, they all the ladies begin to talk about some of the things that have happened. Sheree was able to help Candy and Courtney clear up their whole situation, and Candy ultimately said, "You know, I appreciate you coming over to me at your event and checking on me to make sure I was okay. That was big of you." And she said, "You know, ultimately what we were arguing about in the beginning was silly anyway, so let's just move on." And Courtney says, "You know what? Let's move. Yep, I appreciate that. We can do that." So then Sanya talks to Kenya, and Kenya said, tells Kenya that she's really feeling like a disconnect between them, and she really wants to have a budding friendship with them, but it just seems like every time she tries, Kenya always pushes her back. So Kenya says, and Sanya talks about how, Kenya was being a little off at Ross's birthday party, and she didn't like how Kenya told her to go home when they were in Birmingham, which I did say that I thought that was kind of messed up, that Kenya sent homegirl home. Like, I was like, dang, that's a little rough, but, that's Kenya for you. She like, listen, if you ain't riding, you can get on and ride out, because I ain't got time. So Kenya says, well, I thought that we were cool too, but then until you called me and asked me for advice on a interview that you were going to be doing. Basically, Sanya was going on Watch What Happens Live, and she asked Kenya for advice on how to be on the show and all this, that, and the third. And Sanya get her tail up on the screen and shades Kenya's booty. Now, let me say this, Kenya. We know that your booty ain't real, sis, okay? But do we care at this point? No. You've been wearing it for years, so it's just kind of like a part of the scene now, okay? But Sanya, that is definitely a trick bag question that Andy got you in, and you got trapped in the trick bag. You should have just said, I don't know who, but, or anything is real, okay? All I know is Kenya look good. Whatever she got going on, she looks amazing, and I just hope she keep it on up. She works out. Hell, I hope I look like her. I'm a little on the thin side, but hey, maybe I can. I don't know. There was so many ways that she could have painted that in a better light. Like, you were literally going on there being shady. So you are quick, and Kenya made it clear. She was like, you're quick to shade us and do all this stuff, but you are so quick to defend Marlo tooth and nail. It's absurd and it's ridiculous, but you want to play like you want to be on both sides and you want to be Switzerland, but you're not acting like that. Your actions are showing different. So I don't trust you. And I agree. Kenya, I agree with Kenya. I wouldn't trust Sanya's tail either, because it's just giving off really fake. It really, really is. So Sanya was like, you know what? That's not what I wasn't trying to shade you. I don't know if your butt is real or not. Like, who cares? Like, and Sanya and Kenya was like, you always loyal to Marlo, even though she's dead wrong, but whatever. And Sanya says, you know what? She's never talking about them to Marlo. She's just trying to genuinely make connections with everybody, and she hopes that they can build a better friendship. And Kenya says, okay, I just need to see how you move. And I get it. So Sanya brings up Marlo and Candy, okay? So Marlo says she's fine and she can be in the group and be cordial. She just wanted a different reaction from her friend of 10 plus years. Girl, were y'all... Let's stop it with the friend of 10 plus years crap, okay? Let's just stop. Y'all were not friends of 10 plus years. You were an on and off friend of the show for 10 plus years. And you weren't even on every season. Now, granted, do I believe that they had a somewhat of a close relationship? Because Candy tried to get Marlo her own show at one point. I remember Funky Deneva talking about it because he was supposed to be on the show too. So instead of Marlo taking the opportunity of her own show, she decided to come back and be a friend on the Housewives. So I don't know if that put a damper on her and Candy's relationship, because Candy probably was like, I done did all of this to get you this opportunity, and you want to still come back and play second fiddle on this show. What gives? I don't know why she couldn't have done both, to be honest, but maybe it was a non-compete clause. Who knows? But whatever. So Kenya begins to, Kenya begins to act like she's choking and says it's BS and it's stuck in her throat. And Sheree over there trying to give her the damn Heimlich to get it out, child. I'm like, Kenya, you are just so extra, but it was damn funny. So then Candy says, you wouldn't appreciate your name being attached to a murder, okay? And Drew and Kenya start talking over Marlo, calling her a liar while Marlo is trying to talk. I didn't like that because I feel like let Marlo talk and let her pretty much hang herself because that's exactly what she's always doing. I wanted her to get it out so that everybody can see her for the foolish bullshit that she is, okay? Because all of this is a bag of bullshit. And I think that by Kenya and Drew talking over her, that kind of gave her another way to skate away. And Sanya and Sheree in their confessional say, oh, here they go, protecting Candy. What do y'all think that y'all are doing when y'all are constantly sticking up for Marlo? Ooh, baby, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like, what's good for the goose is also good for the gander. They aren't, and honestly, Kenya and Drew are not sticking up for Candy for real. They are pretty much, they have issues with Marlo too. Marlo has issues with everybody on this cast except you, Sanya, and Courtney. And that's sad. So she got issues with most of the main cast on the show. Courtney is a friend. It's a 50-50 situation with y'all. At this point, Marlo can go. She can go. Kenya and Drew are not Candy's lackeys. They're just not. But moving on. We move into... Marlo continues to say that she really wanted... Again, she goes on and on with Marlo saying that she wanted Candy to call her family. She wanted her to send flowers and this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, okay, hasn't anybody else at this table noticed that her reasoning has changed? Even Sheree was like, so you said I remember you saying you wanted her to send flowers and you wanted her to cater it and, this, that, and the third. She didn't say, oh, I wanted you to call my sister and have a conversation with her. Marlo's story has changed several times, and Candy at this point is just getting frustrated. She's just like, you know what? That's not what you wanted. You were looking for attention. You were trying to garner some sympathy over all of this, and I'm tired of it. You're not going to use my name and my business for you to get some type of attention, and it's sad that these people are sitting up here falling for it. So Marlo gets up and leaves because, Kenya and them are going after her and called her a damn liar. And so Kenya, as Marlo's walking out, calls her a bottom rung B. And Sheree runs after Marlo to get her to come back in and says she's going to stop Kenya from speaking over her to get her to come back inside. So Candy says to Marlo once Marlo comes back that she always acts out and blames someone else for her trauma. And Courtney says, basically under her breath, I'm not here to discuss Marlo. I'm cool with her. That's it and that's all. Now that's being Switzerland. Sanya, take notes. That's Switzerland right there in that moment. Now, when Courtney is with Marlo, she is talking against Candy in the beginning because her and Candy are not friends. But at this table, I can see that Courtney is at this point trying to get to know everybody. And Courtney's reels are turning. She's like, maybe I'm aligning myself with the wrong bitch. Okay. Mark my words, Courtney gonna flip the script later on in the season. She's gonna realize I'm not gonna get anything out of this connection with Marlo, and if I want to stay on this show, I need to get on the other side. I'll be friends with Marlo, but I'm gonna try to explore this other side just a little bit more because these people really know what it takes to have staying power on this show. And Courtney probably is looking at Marlo like she a little cuckoo too and a bit extra and needy. And don't nobody got time for that. So, Candy, I remember her talking to Sanya saying basically like She's not the type of friend. She's, again, the type of friend that's going to help you do things. She's going to, encourage you. She's not about to be like spending a whole bag on you to make you feel better or help you get through stuff. She's going to be the one there to support you. That's just not her personality. She even talked about when her brother passed away, she went to school the next day. Like, this girl has so much going on in her life at such a young age where she's trying to climb that ladder of success, right? And she didn't really have time to process her emotions. And you can see now, every single time Kandi talks about her brother, her voice starts to crack up and she gets emotional because she was super close to her brother. And I can tell that still is a pain that she relives every time she thinks about him to this day. And that's a hard thing. That's a hard pill to swallow. I can't imagine how she's going to be once the Lord calls her mama home. Kandi doesn't deal with those types of things well, to the point of, hey, I'm going to go and nurture you and shower you with gifts. Nobody did that for her. So you can't expect, here's the thing, it's that same old thing I said before. If gifts is your love language, you can't expect for that to be everybody's. And if y'all not close like that, you can't expect for Kandi to nurture you in your love language, because y'all are not that close. You're not doing that. You're not giving reciprocity by way of Kandi and loving her the way that she needs to be loved, by being respectful and not trying to diminish her business and all of her accomplishments. You're not doing that. So if you're not respecting me in the way in which I want to be respected, why do you think that I'm going to go out of my way to give you love and appreciation in a way that you see that you should receive it? It doesn't work that way. So Kandi and Marlo is trying to plead her case, and then she just decides to just be quiet at this point because ain't nobody got time for her and her BS. And Kandi is basically not falling for it. So Courtney says, Sheree, hold on, y'all. Marlo says she feels like her sister and family were like, Kandi didn't call, and that was supposed to be your girl, and she didn't express her condolences. And I was thinking to myself, again, did anybody else express their condolences? Because you didn't tell nobody what was going on. How is somebody supposed to express their condolences over something and you didn't say anything until after the fact? Were you really that hurt over it is the biggest question. Marlo, get a real therapist. The life coach is fired. She ain't working. Sanya tries to reinforce what Marlo was saying, and saying that, no, see what she's saying, Kandi? Like, you're focusing on the wrong thing. Saying you should have just been quiet in that moment. You should have let them talk. Now, y'all done told Kenya not to talk and don't say nothing and don't get in the middle of it. But here goes Sanya over here trying to plead Marlo's daggone case. So Kandi says, you know what? Stop trying to be Marlo's daggone lawyer over here in your Gucci suit, okay? So Kandi says, Sanya, stop it, and F Marlo and her flowers. And her little dog, too, okay? Listen, Kandi ain't got time for the stuff. She ain't in the mood. She ain't with the shits. And y'all just need to stop. So Kandi says Marlo is trying to drag this and get sympathy. Marlo calls Kandi a selfish, poor, privileged girl. Marlo is jealous. This is all a bag of jealousy wrapped up in the bow served on a platter to Kandi this season. These ladies are just butthurt that this one. I'm like, why are y'all so upset over this lady's success? She's been successful since she's been a teenager. None of y'all are in this industry that she's in. Kandi writes music. She's very talented. She writes plays. She has all these restaurants. She's doing all these things. If anything, y'all need to take the time to learn from her and get some daggone get up and go about yourselves. Don't just be mad because the woman is doing well. Y'all don't support each other in a way that it's meaningful. Like Sheree keeps on talking about, oh, Kandi don't support my business and she's trashing me every 5 minutes. You just said that you don't know whether you're going to get biscuits at her restaurant. You've been taking every chance you can to put down Kandi's restaurant. I remember last season, Kandi was in the daggone Airbnb trying to help you with your e-commerce stuff. She was even putting you in touch with people to try to help you get your business started and telling you you need to capitalize off of this. You have waited entirely too long dragging your feet to get this done. You need to get it done. But Sheree don't want to talk about that. The reality is Sheree is lazy. We haven't seen Sheree put in any work but besides showing up on this camera. And even with her showing up on the camera, she doesn't act like a true OG. She doesn't take charge of the scenes. She don't take charge of anything. She's really a glorified friend. Hell, maybe she did need to switch places with bubbly Courtney. Nah, Courtney don't deserve no peach in no stretch of the word. But y'all, listen, I don't know what to tell y'all. I'm just over this whole Candy and Marlo situation. Please, Bravo, let's move on. Let's not drag this out for the rest of the season because we are tired. We are worn out. The fans, we're tired. We don't want to see it no more. And Carlos King, let me say this, because I did watch a little snippet of your interview talking about some Kenny and Candy are not real friends. Because, you know, they weren't, Phaedra and Candy were really the ones that were friends and this and that. Carlos, we are tired of you and your nostalgia of being on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You are having some PTSD. You really need to get over your time being on this show. That was in 2013, 2014 that those two were not as close or tough type. You know, people's relationships, they evolve. That was 10 years ago. Relationships evolve over time. You haven't been a producer on that show in umpteen years. I'm going to need you to mind your business and get your own shows together. And get away from Bravo because you don't know what you're talking about. Candy and Kenya are real friends in real life. It's very palpable. We can see it. Mind your business and figure out what's going on with all the M's on your show and why you letting them Scots lie and not show their real life on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Yeah, mind your business. That's all. Just mind your business. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all for watching. Please, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anybody else that's watching this show too. And I will see you in the next video. Peace out.